Good morning, day 15. So I got up at 6:30. Finally just getting away from camp at like 8:07 and coming down from Owl's Head. And then we'll climb Mount Martha. And then we'll continue on to where we were supposed to be last night. So yeah, definitely behind in mileage, but feeling good. And so far, this trail coming down, once we got over the really bad part late last night, that was steep. Well, not late, but 7 o'clock last night. The trail doesn't seem too bad right now. I only have a 300-foot climb up to Mount Martha, so that's good. That should be okay, although like I said, they call this Martha's Mile, and I've heard it's hard, but I guess it can get hard, that's for sure, so we shall see. But right now, look at this trail, it's gorgeous. Later start than I wanted, but I slept really good last night. I did wake up a few times, and when I first went to bed, there was a lot of, I thought at first it was maybe fireworks, and I thought, oh, it'd be nice to be up on Owl's Head and watching the fireworks from up there. But then I realized they were too intermittent, and then I realized they were gunshots. And they went on for, I don't know, an hour and a half or so. And they seemed to get closer as well. Now, I don't know if that was the wind carrying it better as the wind picked up, but it did not rain last night, although it was supposed to. It is supposed to thunderstorm this afternoon, and right now it's gray and overcast, so we shall see. Temp right now is, what is it right now? 53. So I still have my fleece on because I just wasn't prepared to take it off yet. And I thought, well, I'm going downhill, so I shouldn't be getting too hot immediately. That I'd have to take it off 10 minutes later, so. Yeah, so I don't know what was up with the gunshots, but anyway, eventually I just fell asleep, and I woke up a couple times in the night because of the wind flapping the tarp, and I thought it was something trying to scratch into the tarp. But overall, we slept well. And then I woke up quite a few times, probably between 4:30 and when I finally got up at 6:30. But it was like sort of half awake and and then just right back to sleep. So, all right, we're going to get moving and see you on top of Mount Martha. I think I may be either at the top or very close to the top of Mount Martha, which means I either have done really well hiking up here because it's only 8:30 and I left at 8:07 and thought I had 7:10s. I have not stopped, not even my little 2-minute sit down. I've hiked the whole way up. Or else I was kind of a lot further down Owl's Head where I stopped than I thought I was. Maybe a little more up, so may not quite be at the top of Martha yet. But I'm damn close. So it's amazing what a decent meal, a couple of Motrin, good night's sleep, and breakfast to start can do for you. I feel good this morning. I I wasn't speeding up the mountain, but I kept a good steady pace. Oh, maybe there's still a long, slow climb left. Alrighty. Definitely at the top of Mount Martha now. And of course no view. We're completely sucked in, which is fine. But hey, it is 8:36, so I did pretty well. Now it's 3.5 miles down to where I was supposed to be last night. Other one was a false summit. This may be a false summit as well. I'm not sure. There's so many of these that they don't actually mark at the top anyway. It is 8:42. Haven't taken a break yet, but let's see if this is a false summit and keep going for a little bit. Okay, this is definitely it. Because there's a sign there for the trail, Martha's Mile, which means we're already at the summit of Martha, since that's where the trail starts. And there's a little trail that goes off there that's probably an overlook, but not much sense in going out there because, yeah, not much to overlook. I'm going to take a little break here, and then we'll get going on that 3.5. I just finished probably the better part of the descent off of Martha's Mountain and got to a trailhead split, and the U.S. Forest Service sign said Cherry Mtn Rd 3.6. Now I'd already gone probably at least a tenth, and that means it's 3.7 maybe from the top of Mount Martha. And of course the Cohos Trail map has 3.5. The amounts on the Cohos Trail have not once coincided with the U.S. Forest Service signs. The U.S. Forest Service signs have always been more, and I don't know if it's because USFS rounds up and CT rounds down, but even accounting for rounding up and rounding down, that's 0.2 of a mile difference, which is like, doesn't account for rounding up or rounding down. So I'm kind of bummed that I can't use my watch for tracking because I have no idea what the actual miles I am doing versus what the CT map has, which obviously is not right. In fact, actually, they advertise the CT as being 170 miles, but if you add up all the mileage on the map, it's only 130 something. So I don't know. I don't get it. I wish the map was more accurate, but it is what it is. I mean, it makes a difference when you're trying to plan your day, and, I've been way off anyway because some of the, my knee is killing me, and going uphill is brutal for me. Actually, coming downhill is brutal for me with my knee right now because it actually hurts more going down than it does going up. But anyway, it is what it is. And, but this trail is lovely. I should make some, if it continues like this, I should make a little bit of good time. Although I still am going slow because I'm just old. It's amazing what a full pack, how much a difference a full pack makes on how fast you can actually walk or hike or whatever. I think in training I only got up to like 22 or 23 pounds, which is easily 10 pounds lighter than what I've been carrying. And obviously terrain makes a huge difference as well. Not just whether it's up or down, but even flat terrain, how rocky it is or how many roots there are and how careful you have to place your steps. That all slows you down. So, at the end of the trail and out on Cherry Mtn Rd, I dropped my pack at exactly 10:56, so exactly 2 hours from the time I left Mount Martha, because I left from my break there at 8:56. So I was hoping to make it here by 11, and I did. So far, I think that's been my favorite trail. You know, obviously I was going downhill. If I was going no-bow, I'd be hiking that whole thing uphill, but it wasn't that steep. So even downhill wasn't bad. Although I feel a really bad hot spot on the outside edge of my right heel. So I'm going to take that shoe off and see if I can tape that up with the tape I got the other night. And have a little bit of something to eat and then get a move on. So I'm having this RX nut butter, honey cinnamon peanut butter on a street taco, and I obviously should have mashed that packaging up some before I opened it, because a big blog came out and then a whole bunch of soupy stuff came out. So, and then I'll probably have some pretzels with the rest of the peanut butter as well. So I am on the Bridal Path, I think, or maybe the Perimeter Path. I don't know, one of the two, around the Mount Washington Omni Resort golf course. And I had several spouts of downpour of rain. I've been wearing the poncho since not too long after leaving Mount Martha, actually, because it started sprinkling, and I was like, I'm not going to take a chance. So I've been wearing the poncho ever since. So since about, I don't know, 9, 10 maybe, I've been wearing the poncho. Would have liked to have gone into the hotel to have a cup of coffee or something, but I really don't have the time. Yeah, I just need to get a move on, because I need to finish this day where I'm supposed to finish this day, which it was over 9 miles, and I added over 4, so by not getting it done yesterday. But they're out there enjoying golf, even though despite the fact it keeps raining off and on. This bridle path along the river is really, really nice. Of course, just when I decide to take a break, it starts to rain again, so I guess I will not take a break. Though I probably should gather some water. I think I'll do that real quick. It's 2:02 p.m. and we just came upon this little shelter on the trail, and so we're just taking a little break here. We are absolutely drenched. Yeah. What's the name of this shelter? Oh, what is it? I don't remember. It's on the B&O or B&M Trail, the old railroad line, old railroad line. Cold. I'm soaking wet because when we stopped to get water there, the sky opened up and it just downpoured, and of course I was in the middle of collecting and then filtering water, so pack is soaking wet. I'm soaking wet to the bone, all the way. My fleece is just dripping and pants dripping, and yeah, lovely. But I don't think we have too much farther to go, maybe about 2 miles to get to where I wanted to be tonight. Since it's only 2 o'clock, I don't know if we'll go further. Part of me kind of really doubts it because I just want to get dry, and the only way to get dry is to get undressed in the hammock under the tarp. So Wiggles is looking really cold. I'm going to cover him up with his little pad, and we'll just take a little break here. So obviously this is a post-trail holly, and I wanted to add some notes here because of what's about to happen sort of next. So, and I've got notes here, and I'm going to refer to them a lot because I haven't practiced this. But so during my break at the shelter on the Mtn Trail, I spent most of my time reassessing my current situation. It was not like I was going to dry out while I was in that shelter. I was soaking wet to the bone. But I had to kind of reassess what I was doing. And I'm not sure I came to any conclusions there. But a few ideas started rolling around in my head for the next mile or so on the Porcupine Lane, and then to Mount Clinton Road, and then on to the Edmund's Path Trailhead parking lot. And I got to the parking lot, Edmund's Trail parking lot, about 4 p.m., just a little bit before 4 p.m. And I sort of did another reassessment. I mistakenly sat down, first of all. I was beat. My feet were killing me. My right knee and calf and ankle were all extremely swollen. Like, my calf felt like the front of my shin felt like it was just going to split open. The skin was so tight because everything was so swollen. And my knee was so very, very painful. I was soaking wet. I was freezing cold, and everything just started seizing up. Like, all my joints and everything just started seizing up. And I had a hard time, like, I couldn't even get up. I had to crawl, sort of, because I couldn't get up once I had sat down. Anyway, the forecast for the next 24 hours was thunderstorms, and through the night, and then rain the next day. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I really needed to get dry and warm, and that was not going to happen on the trail in the next 24 hours. And I kind of just accepted the fact that that was the case, that I wasn't going to get dry or warm on the trail. And so I tried to send a message to both my daughter and my son. Generally speaking, my daughter keeps her alerts on, and she answers. She may not answer messages fairly quickly, but she sees them. My son, I don't even know if he has alerts on. He kind of answers things when he sees them, but when he sees them, he does answer them. So that, they're both kind of different in that way. But anyway, messages wouldn't send though, which was weird because I had 2 bars. So I thought, well, okay, I have 2 bars. I'm going to try to call. So I called my son first, no answer. Called my daughter. She did answer, and I asked her if she could try to rouse her brother because I wanted to come home. I needed to see if he could pick me up. She was another hour and a half further south than he was, so it was certainly going to be much easier and quicker for him to pick me up than her. So she called me back, and she said she couldn't, he wasn't answering. So he wasn't answering her messages, nothing. So I said, well, let me see what's happening here. There's some people coming down the trail to the parking lot here. Let me see where they're going. If they're going sort of in the direction I need to go or whatever. They were not. They were from Portland, Maine, so they were going to be going the complete opposite direction that I needed to go. But I did ask them if they could maybe drop me off somewhere that was a little, like where I could be at least indoors and maybe start to get warm. And they said, well, we go by Bretton Woods, but we're not sure if that's even open. It's a ski resort. Not sure if it's even open. And I said, well, to get to Bretton Woods, you have to pass right past the Washington Hotel, Mount Washington Hotel. I said, so you can drop me there. And I thought, you know what? I'll go in there in that posh place and wait in the lobby. As the hiker trash that I am, I really don't care. I am. Hey, no. You settle down. Settle down. No. Yes, we're talking, but you're not talking. Okay, sure. Anyway, so they said, sure, yeah, they're happy to drop me off there. So, so it was, let's see, their names were Kevin, Emily, and Brittany, and they gave me a lift to the Mount Washington Hotel. And there I went through the security gate for the second time, saying, I'm just a hiker being dropped off to the guard, you know. And then, so there we are. We hung out in the lobby, smack in front of the huge fireplace, which is now gas, not actual logs, trying to get warm. Chatted with Carrie and Ed from Westfield, Mass, and Ed from Stowe, Vermont. I never did get warm or really dry, but it is what it is. My brother and my sister-in-law, once again, saved me. They're the ones who saved me in 2003 when I quit this hike, and they brought me home. On the way home, at some point, my son messaged me and said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, everything's fine now. I'm on my way home. And once I got home, I ordered Domino's, and I used the old, you know, you fly, I buy. And so my son went down to pick it up, and I ate some delicious pizza, and I was in bed by 9 p.m., still not warm at that point. And the whole drive back, I was sitting in the back seat of my brother's truck with the heat just blasting on me, and I still was not warm when I went to bed at 9 p.m. I had some, you know, ridiculously stupid idea that I would be back out on trail on Monday and finish those last 2 days. I still had Monday and Tuesday off, and you know, take a day of rest on Sunday, be back on the trail on Monday. Yeah, that did not happen. So more on that in the next video.